In 2021, about $1.4 billion worth of Nigerian cocoa was imported by Russia from Germany. The narrative must change through an interbank system collaboration between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Russian Federation. The Chairman CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiri Arewa, engages the Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, Russia, Mr. O.M. Edi Imo Samson, and the Continental Chairman, NIDO Europe, Dr. Bashir Obasekola. Details shortly. And on investment, the federal government promises less bureaucratic bottlenecks and a more secure ecosystem for businesses in Nigeria. Details shortly. And Spectrum News New York charts a Nigerian who is the highest ranking African in the New York Police Department, NYPD. And on our health segment, ANPA with juicy health tips. And of course, we do not forget our diasporan of the moment. This is your favorite show, The Diaspora, and I am your anchor, Koinsola Adetumbi. Please stay with us. Welcome back. And now let's begin with the visit of the Chairman, NIDO Russia, and the Continental Chairman, NIDO Europe, to NIDCOM in Abuja.
I think that there's a lot more that the diaspora can do, apart from remittance. Because in some ways, people do not even know, or they have not realized, or they cannot identify the possibilities that they have. We have a lot of skillful people, educated, talented Nigerians using their talents for the host countries, and Nigeria is not benefiting anything from that. And some of these people were sent out on scholarship. That means government paid for them, and the government or the country that paid for them is not using anything, not their wealth of experience or wealth in general. It's not using anything. I think there should be a kind of a mechanism that is giving them the possibilities to know how they can be useful back home. Because Nigeria, when you move around Nigeria, then you know that Nigeria needs this people. What we are doing in our small capacity as a chapter, that is Russian, is to encourage Russian business people to trade more directly with Nigeria, not to trade through other countries, but direct trade with Nigeria. And we're encouraging the manufacturers to try to localize their production or part of their production in Nigeria. And we will never be tired doing so. Nigeria is producing cocoa, but it's selling it to Germany, selling it to Cyprus, selling it to anybody, and then Russia is buying from there. Just for the sake of statistics, for 2021, Russia imported cocoa and cocoa products for $1.4 billion. But the largest supplier of cocoa products to Russia was Germany. The next was Holland, the third was Italy. So, and cocoa is those, cocoa, we do not have any evidence that cocoa grows in those places. The only African country that has a breakthrough is Cote d'Ivoire. So what we want to do is also to create a direct link for cocoa producers in Nigeria to be able to sell to the market that is consuming that product.
I'm delighted to be here, having been re-elected in November, last year, 2020. So I'm happy to be here to pay courtesy call and to thank all of you for working for us. We are delighted to always work with NIDCOM and of course Dr. Abike Dabiri Arewa to see through this mission. NIDO has a special place in the whole setup of the engagement, given the privileges and the fact that it was, the establishment of, its establishment was also initiated and supported by the federal government of Nigeria. So the privilege given to us, we need to utilize it well. We need to engage members and other diasporans outside the country and make sure that we remain focused on homeland development And that is what, so participation and engagement with NIDCOM is one of the things we put very vital in our approach. Also, we know that, Diaspora, we do our promoting Nigeria, good image of Nigeria, because it is with that investment will be able to come freely, because we don't want to demarket our country. So we also promote Nigeria as a country, as a destination for investment, as a destination for human recruitment, especially now that the world has gone global. We discover that the youth over in Nigeria, some of them are well educated and they need to be engaged. Nigeria is our own country, and wherever we are, even though we are physically outside the country, but psychologically and spiritually, we are always home.
Once more, congratulations, my brother, on your re-election as the continental chairman of Nigeria's and Diaspora Organization Europe. Very well deserved. It was keenly contested, very well deserved, and I congratulate you. And we're glad to officially receive you for the first time after your re-election. There's a lot of work for you to do, which you have been doing, and a lot more to do, because it's really, like we've said here, we still haven't tapped into that diaspora potential. We are scratching the surface. So as you grow, as you do your second term, it's important to galvanize more Nigerians to join your organization. And that means they have to see it as worth joining. What we try to do, reach out to Nigerians individually and collectively. And I'm glad that on our data today, honestly speaking, we can give you thousands of Nigerians that are excellent in everything they're doing. We need to attract them, we need to encourage them. And we've heard that it's not just beyond remittances. There's so much we need to do with our diaspora. It's about human capital development. So I congratulate you for what you're doing and hope that you attract more to join your organization and help us in building our dear country, Nigeria. So I'll touch on a few things. One, diaspora voting. It's a passion we all have, and we hope that one day it has to happen. Yeah. It's not going to happen in 2023, but it has to happen. Freedom of information took 10 years, so this is just the beginning of fighting for diaspora voting. So I appeal to you that all Nigerians in diaspora must make it an agenda. Yeah. Most importantly, we look forward to working with you in your second term as our chairman again, and we wish you all the very best. And I want to thank you for what you're doing, particularly in Idle Russia, to promote investments in Nigeria. And that's the message. This is your country. It's the best country.
Many thanks for the strong partnership with NIDCOM. And still with NIDO Europe, an investment forum was held in Lagos for homeland development.
This event, a kind of experience sharing, where the Nigerians who live in Russia and are willing to come back and invest in Nigeria will be able to understand which area of businesses that is interesting for them, and then they can know the experiences of people who do business in Nigeria, so that they can see how they can fit in, and maybe they can have something in common.
So you may be here watching from the diaspora, or you may be a returnee who has just resettled here and saying that I want to tap into the opportunities in Lagos. I want you to know that your governor is here to listen to you. Your government is here to support you make a success out of yourself. The Lagos State government has a lot of opportunities for diasporas, like the Lagos Employment Trust Fund, LSETF, that throughout this administration has been supporting 50% owned businesses with grants from 5 million naira and above.
When you're talking about investment, you'll be talking about the security. Nobody will want to invest where your life and property is not safe. But Ondo State is safe for investment at the moment. In the area of our gas, we have a lot of projects going on right now. And now that technology is fast moving ahead of our crude oil right now, and that is why our government is trying to go into conversion of our petrol vehicle to gas, which we feel the diaspora can key into that. We have the bitumen project. We feel the diaspora can key into that.
The business opportunities that are abound in both countries are still there despite the sanctions and the crisis, the geopolitical war that is going on. But there are still opportunities. That's the essence of opening up to come here to say it loud and clear that you have opportunities that you can, relate with. And also for our diaspora over there who are watching us through the internet to see opportunities that are found in Nigeria, to bring their money back to Nigeria, to come and invest here, to create jobs, because we need jobs for the teeming youth.
There are a lot of opportunities in Nigeria. You're seeing Nigerians in Russia saying they want to come back home and invest. And even Russia itself as a country wants to look at Africa for investment. And I like what you are doing. Encourage them that this is the best investment destination. We have our challenges, there's no doubt about them. But we overcome those challenges, and the smart ones knows that this is where you should invest for tomorrow. You can't invest here and regret it. We got the population, we have everything. There's no way you cannot invest in Nigeria. We are blessed. Though tourism, fantastic tourism there. I mean, in Lagos, when the president came to commission the deep sea port, flying over there, look at that shoreline. Imagine we had 10 deep sea ports in Nigeria, and I heard 2 companies are coming to invest, but we're starting another one in the local land. Imagine we have 10 deep sea ports in this country, and then the north, dry ports. Listen, my brothers and sisters, this is the best country in the world. I want to flex my love, I want to press it, and I want to carry my love away.
And now let's take a short break with boy Alinko as our guide.
Not so fast. Look, I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down.
Do you have a job where you're going to?
No, but someone is arranging, Listen, Alinko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
Lola Obey is a high-ranking police chief in the New York Police Department. Spectrum News had a chat with her. Enjoy.
The NYPD often talks about diversifying its force from rookie cops up to commanding officers. Right now, going to introduce you to one of those commanding officers. Assistant Chief Lola Obey joins us now. Chief, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And you are the highest ranking African on the NYPD, am I correct?
You are correct, yes.
And most people call you Lola, but what is your first name?
Olufumi Lola.
I'm not going to try to say that. And you are the commanding officer of Manhattan North, Northern Manhattan. That starts from where to where?
So the commanding officer, Patrol Borough Manhattan North. It starts on 59th Street all the way up north to Washington Heights.
Washington. And how many precincts are you
12 precincts.
In charge of? 12 precincts.
That's correct, yes.
So you are the highest ranking African. Where are you from, and how did you end up on the NYPD?
So originally from Nigeria. I was born here in the U.S. I moved back as a very young child to Nigeria. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. Went to primary school in Lagos, secondary school in Lagos, moved back to the U.S. For secondary school. So I also attended City College of New York for my undergrad, and in my second year, I got a call from the NYPD to become a police cadet. And the rest is history for me.
So, and 29 years later.
29 years later,
you are a two-star chief.
That's correct, yes.
All right. And so now you're in charge of Manhattan North. That's a big area. Let's talk a little bit about public safety. We know that quite often in Northern Manhattan there are shootings, there are stabbings. We know in the last couple of days there was a big raid on a gang up there because of violence and drugs, other issues going on. But when we look at the crime numbers, last year there were 43 murders in Manhattan North, but that's down 36% from the year prior. So what's going on with public safety?
So, I would like to start off by thanking the hardworking men and women of, in my precincts in Manhattan North. We started off on a very, very wrong, a very tough note, actually, in 2022 with the shooting deaths of detectives Mara and Rivera. So that set the tone for us as to what our mission was, which was number one, officer safety, community engagement, and essentially just, targeting our shooters in Manhattan North and just trying to bring those numbers down. So, we did a really nice job last year with the reductions that you just mentioned. So that is our goal moving forward also in 2023.
And when I look at the numbers, shooting incidents last year down 26% from the prior year, and gun charges up 72%. So we know in some cases crime goes down, then it goes up, and you're continuing to work with the community. When you talk about crime, public safety, dealing with the community, unfortunately, we had the recent incident in Memphis with Tyree Nichols. And a lot of times policing is a national issue because when people see something in one city, they think about our city. What was your response when you saw that video? As a chief in the NYPD, you see 5 black officers beating someone like that.
So I think one word sums it up for me, tragic. But I think also that we need to be guided by the police commissioner's statement. She put something out on the incident itself. So
that it's tragic, and that's what you saw. And a lot of people will be concerned about that here, the community relations component to policing, and I know that's something that's very important to you. There was a controversy in Harlem about the Apollo Theater, a big concert there with Drake, and people were upset with the 28th precinct and the captain up there, Captain Shepard, videotaping people coming out of the Drake concert. They said cops were documenting people. What was that all about?
So we understand the concerns about, that is centered around facial recognition, but that one night, it was really just all about, putting out something really great about the 28 precinct on Twitter, on their Twitter page. So, as you mentioned, Shepard, phenomenal commander up there. So, he was misconstrued and, taken the wrong way. But it was just all about, just promoting the event itself, the space itself on social media.
And not trying to get video of people and store it somewhere.
That's correct. No, it wasn't anything like that.
What's your advice as the highest ranking African in the department, and you're a woman? What's your message to young women who may want to get involved with law enforcement?
When I speak to the new recruits we get when they send them to the boroughs, I think that there's always that fear that I cannot do this job, that gender itself separates us. It doesn't. I tell them, listen, you guys are great, you could do it. The one thing that I will say is take all the exams. It's a great job, and I'm plugging the recruitment part of it here. I started off as a police cadet. I also tell them you can't be a chief if you don't become a sergeant first. Take all the exams. It's a great, great job. There's so many opportunities in the NYPD that a lot of people, women included, can actually take advantage of. But I made it this far, honestly. I think most women also could do the same.
Thank you, Lola, for flying the Nigerian flag high. Now on to our health segment.
Today I want to talk to you about febrile seizures. That means a fever and a convulsion. It's very scary. We can do so much about it. So febrile seizures are common in children between the ages of 6 months and 5 years. And it is common because children that age, their brain has not developed enough to manage a fever. The first thing to do is to prevent a febrile seizure. And we can do that by managing fevers in our children. When your child feels warm, it's best to check the temperature with a thermometer. Because sometimes your child doesn't have a fever. And sometimes the fever is so high you need to do something quickly. Now, the kind of thermometer we like, the thermometer you put in your mouth or in the child's buttocks. That is more accurate. We don't like the one that you put under the arm or on the forehead because that is not so accurate. Another thing you need to know is your child's weight. As your child grows up, the child gets heavier and the medicine you need to give increases. So you need to know the right weight to know the right amount for your child. Because if you give too little, the fever will not go away, and it increases the child's chances of getting convulsions with the fever. Now, we have many good medicines for fever. We have paracetamol or Panadol. We have ibuprofen or Motrin, and these work very well. We have them in liquid form, in chewable form, and you can repeat these medicines every 4 to 6 hours or 6 to 8 hours for Motrin if your child has a fever. You can also give your child a cool bath or put a wet cloth over your child's head or the body. All this helps brings down the fever. That is the best way to prevent a febrile seizure, apart from finding out what's causing the fever. If that doesn't work and your child has a seizure, the first thing to do is to lay your child flat on the ground, on the side. You want to make sure there's nothing dangerous around that could hurt the child when the child is seizing. It usually lasts 1 to 2 minutes, so you need to time the seizure. Because if it's lasting more than 5 minutes, your child needs to see a doctor for that. You do not want to put anything in your child's mouth. A stick, all those things cause injury to the child's mouth and more problems for the child if they throw up. You do not need to give the child agbo or any other concoction. Those things make the children very sick. And we've seen many children get very ill because of the concoctions they give them when they have this febrile seizure. Once the seizure is over, you can take the child to the doctor so they can talk to you and make sure there's no other cause for that seizure or convulsion. So in summary, febrile seizures or convulsions with fever are common in those children ages 6 months to 5 years. But you can do something about it. If you manage the fever well, the child wouldn't have it. You need to have a thermometer to know the right temperature. You need to know your child's weight so you can give the right amount, and you can repeat that medicine. If your child has the seizure, don't put anything in the child's mouth. Don't give agbo. Put the child to the side and wait for the seizure to pass. I hope this helps. Thank you.
Many thanks, AMPA Doctor, for stepping in always. Now on to our Diaspora of the Moment with Shalewa Ajila presenting. Enjoy.
Our Diaspora of the Moment is Ikenna Ihim. Ikenna is a Nigerian-American doctor and philanthropist. He was born on the 27th of October 1984 in Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria. Ihim graduated from the University of Maryland, College Park with a degree in biology before proceeding to St. Matthew's University, where he studied medicine and graduated in 2014. From 2015 to 2018, he went to Coney Island Hospital for his residency in internal medicine. He later got his medical license in North Carolina and became a board-certified internist and started practicing in Fayetteville, North Carolina. During his time in the medical school, he furthered to Devonport University, where he got an MBA in healthcare management, graduating in the year 2017. Ihim received the chieftaincy title as Nze Ikeoha I of Nkweri. He is best known for his work on nasogastric intubation. Since 2020, he has been working on the front line of the COVID-19 pandemic. Congratulations, Dr. Ihim. We celebrate you as our Diaspora of the Moment.
No doubt you had a swell time with us on today's episode of your favorite program, The Diaspora. Stick with us same time next week. And I remain your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. Bye for now.